Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your November 2022 tarot card reading and astrological horoscope. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jane, just to quickly introduce myself. So we are moving officially into November of 2022. October was an incredibly eventful month, and now that we are making a transition into November, after the eclipse on November 8th, things should start to sort of subside a little bit. Now for these readings, like we did last month, I have two different segments. The first segment is going to be a tarot card reading, which is purely intuitive, and the second segment is going to be an astrological horoscope. Thank you all so much for the amazing feedback that I received last month on those as well. And some people like to watch the astrology portion first. So if that's you, then you can absolutely click on that timestamp down below, and then you can go back and watch the tarot card portion after if you prefer. Now, you can watch these readings for your sun, moon, or rising sign, although just know that the rising sign is going to be a little bit more accurate in terms of all the house placements of the transits. Timestamps for each segment will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below for easy access. And also down below in the description box and comment thread, there will be information regarding how to access the comprehensive readings. So let's go ahead and get into this for the month. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in just a sec. Hello Taurus, welcome to your tarot card reading for November 2022. So we are going to go ahead and get started with a channeled message from one of my more intuitive decks here. So let's just see what comes through. Okay. I'm feeling like you're in this time of your life where you feel like you really have so much to give. Okay, you have so much love and energy and so much that's inside of you that's wanting to come out. So whether that's through creativity or art or through music or any other thing, it's wanting to come out. But I am seeing an adversarial energy here in this card. Feels like things are working against you. And it may not be a bunch of stuff. It may just be one thing. And it may be mental, or it may be an actual situation that you're dealing with other people, or a financial situation or whatnot. Maybe there's something going on with your health. But whatever the case is, I feel like it's a real thorn in your paw, and it's very, very difficult to get it out. Maybe even some of you have considered going to therapy to try to figure out how to move past this, because you're aware of it, because how could you not be aware of a thorn in your paw? You're aware of it, you know that it's there, but there may be this continual pattern that you know you're doing it, and you know you're doing it while you're doing it, and yet stopping doing it feels very challenging. Now, I do feel that there is an exit strategy that the universe has in mind, because I feel like you're kind of trying to go head to head with this thing, but the real solution actually is like in a completely different area. And hopefully with the tarot cards, we'll get an idea of what that is. But it's like the reason, quote unquote, it's the reason why this brilliant, beautiful self-expression has been challenging to truly embrace. Okay, well, let's see if we can get some more information. I'm going to pull out the card that signifies what the universe needs from you. So Taurus, for November 2022, what does the universe need from you for Taurus here? The Lovers. Now, this doesn't have to mean relationship energy, okay? In fact, in its most base sense, like if you open up any tarot card reading book or, any class, they'll always tell you that one of the main definitions of the Lovers is about choice, making some kind of a choice and having to deliberate or to delineate between which options are really going to be best for you. And I am feeling like there are two things, okay? Because I'm seeing like in this particular card here, I have like the sword that's trying to go in toward what I'm seeing is like the sun energy here. So here's that sword going in. But then there's like these two other entities over here, both extremely different, and they have nothing to do. There is no connection with this here at all. And so maybe there are new projects or new ventures or new points of focus that you can dedicate time and energy to that will naturally help you heal or naturally help you relieve yourself from the pain of this thorn in the paw, meaning taking it out, meaning you never have to think about doing that pattern ever again. But the fact is you have to choose one of these other things. You can't keep going head to head with the problem. You can't keep going head to head, especially if it's another person, right? Like if you're in a very difficult relationship and that other person is very much the problem, the solution is not going to be like you fixing that, right? And so I think the universe here with this Lover's card is telling Taurus that you have some choices to make, and you have to be realistic with yourself about what's available to you, because these are probably things that you already know what they are. Again, seemingly completely disconnected from this adversarial energy here, completely separate, has nothing to do with it. And yet those are the pathways out. So what is going on in the environment around you? The Page of Coins. So this could be another person or just the energy at large that's around you. Now, the good news is this person is certainly looking in, and I'm going to lay all the cards right here. So he is looking in toward the reading. So there is involvement and there is a desire to interact. Now, I think that this is associated with one of these other things. This is not the adversarial energy that you're contending with. Because to me, with a page, I see opportunity and I see willingness. I see things operating. They're still continuing to flow. Things are still moving day by day. Things are working well. And this may be someone that, I don't know that they're playing a huge role in your life right now. They're just kind of around, but it is likely that their role in your life will get bigger and bigger and bigger, but not to replace, because when we walk away from something like this, like an adversarial energy like that, sometimes we can immediately just go to look to find something that will fill the void of that thing that took so much energy and attention. This is not here to fill the void so much as this is here to just make you feel safe as you go about options that don't really seem like the right choice. That's the thing, is I feel like both of these, they don't seem like they're going to solve any problems. So as you're approaching things, and there may even be reasons against these things too, but not good enough. I think these things are a lot more productive. And when you do focus on those things, there's a lot more movement, and you can actually see with your eyes that things are progressing. And I think right now, Taurus, given the fact that when we start November, as of November 1st, we are smack dab in the middle of a eclipse season. On November 1st, actually, we do have the moon in Aquarius, which is in a square with where the eclipses are going to be happening. Well, specifically the eclipse happening in Taurus on November 8th, which is going to be conjunct Uranus. So that moon is waxing, it's building up to that energy. So I feel like this choice is actually happening sooner rather than later, because with the new moon eclipse that happened on October 25th in Scorpio, I've been saying that eclipse was very much about getting out from under the things that are burying you. And I think this adversarial energy is absolutely burying you. And it's 100% preventing you from seeing the progress and the abundance and the prosperity that you know you can have. So we have the Seven of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the King of Coins. All right, now I'm loving, obviously the King of Coins is the card of Taurus, so that's you. We have this Seven of Swords. I feel like something is betraying you, or you may feel like something is betraying you. Like, it's like you counted on something, you counted on someone. They mattered, the situation mattered, you were relying upon them, you were loyal to them, and for whatever reason, things just went sour. And now you're trying to figure out a way. Page of Swords, I think, is coming through in a more strategic way of saying, how do I get back to this place of peace and rest? And, you know, I just wanted to say that this thing, whatever the betrayal is, you know, for some reason I'm getting in my mind the energy of someone who like can't get pregnant and is really struggling with their fertility. And it's almost as though they may be thinking that their body is betraying them. Okay, so it could be something like that as well. So please don't think that this only has to be a romantic relationship, because it absolutely does not have to be. It could be a situation with your parents or even your childhood, right? Something that you know happened and you know the effects it's had on you, and yet still so much difficulty with releasing it. And I think the way you view it is starting to change. And that's maybe one of the reasons why I am seeing you overcome this in your life. You're overcoming the roadblocks. And I'm feeling that Taurus has excessive roadblocks with this particular thing. And I don't know that you're in a position right now to really ask for that much help, although I did mention therapy. So if that's something that you have or might consider, I would say, you know what, that may not be the worst idea, as long as you feel comfortable with that. But I do see a determination with that King of Coins to really take care of it himself and to be really focused on what he can do. And I think it's almost like you have to prove it to yourself. It doesn't really have a lot to do with anybody else right now, I don't think. I think it has so much to do about you wanting to show you that you are capable of making this change. Let's see what else comes out. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, it seems quietly supportive. Like it's looking right into your eyes here, looking straight at you, and is saying like, I got your back. Like, I'm not going to do anything for you. I'm not going to try to solve this problem for you. But if you ever need a fallback, like I'm here. Okay. Six of Cups. There is a connection with the past. Some of you may have maybe not a current relationship, but maybe it was something that happened that has prevented you from getting into a healthy relationship up to this point. We have the Six of Cups, we have the Six of Coins, and we have the Emperor. Wonderful. So the Emperor, I feel, is someone else, someone that acts as an authority in your life. And this may be someone that you know personally, but also maybe not. Okay, this may be someone that you know just from, maybe you don't know them, but maybe you observe them and you have this, I don't know, you have this image of who you think they are or who you believe them to be. That may or may not be the reality, but it's an image that you hold. And I think you hold yourself in contrast with that, or in comparison with that. This is someone that you aspire to be. I often see the Emperor coming out for Taurus in Taurus readings because there's that strength, there's that inner strength there. And this is absolutely the person that you aspire to be. It is not only maybe mirrored in your perception of someone else, but in just your dreams. Just when you think of yourself and when you think of yourself in the future, this is what you see. Someone who is wise and successful, and someone who is capable of not letting their brain and not letting their mind fully control them. Now, I don't want to be insensitive to people who are really dealing with things. That's why I did mention maybe therapy or something, or getting books, or, following certain groups on social media, whatever you feel that you need. Because I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not easy to overcome that adversarial energy. It's not easy to be in that position where you want so badly to change, and it's so hard to change. But I think the universe is, like I say, it's giving you an out. It's giving you a way. And I think the desire has been there for so long. The desire has been present in your mind and in your heart. And, this has been true for the past couple of signs with Pisces and Aries. It's like for all three of you up to this point now, it's like something from the past that you manifested a long time ago is really only just now starting to resurface and actually become some kind of a reality. And you may have been aware of this for a very long time. And you may have been trying to work through it for a very long time. But now the universe is really providing real solutions. It's providing you a real out. It's like all the things that happened between when you first manifested this, maybe multiple years ago, everything that happened between then and now was setting you up for success, even though there were hiccups and road bumps along the way, but it was setting you up for success. The universe seems to be evening itself out right now. And through Libra season and Scorpio season, that's the nature of the seasons. That's what these seasons do. We have justice, which is, we have the judgment of Libra, and then we have actually serving the sentence in Scorpio, right? So we actually get what we've sort of set forth energetically. So that could be good or bad, depending on where you've been at. I think many Taurians have been in a really good place with good intentions and strong desires, which means the universe is finally catching up. Or not the universe, but the real world is finally catching up to meet you where you have been energetically for a very long time. Things are going to start to roll out more smoothly. I'm not saying they're going to be perfect, right? 10 of Wands, not going to be perfect, not entirely going to be easy either, but it is going to be productive and effective. And I think that's what matters, that you're actually going to see the results. Let me move my microphone back a little bit here. Okay, Knight of Wands, beautiful. And Death. See, it is the end. It is the end of that adversarial energy. Now, I want to give, for some reason, I keep getting called toward health things. Now, I'm not saying all of you are sick, but I am saying even something like fatigue. I'm feeling like I want to say the word fatigue. That could also be the adversarial energy against your divine light. Because if you are feeling fatigued, right? Now, there could be many reasons for that. I'm not here to provide some kind of a diagnosis or whatever. But if you are feeling fatigued, that has probably been one of the reasons why you haven't done all the things that you've said you wanted to do. And this is saying it's done. You're not going to be tired anymore. You're going to find the right people to help you. You're going to find the right people to guide you. You're going to find the right books. You're going to find the right videos. You're going to find the right thing of whatever it is that you need to help you work through this. And the Knight of Wands is here to offer a great deal of optimism. And, you know, when the Knight of Wands is coupled with the Ten of Wands, I actually do like that, because sometimes when the Ten of Wands is surrounded by heavy cards, it can feel like it's really, really, really hard. But when the Knight of Wands comes in, it brings this light and passionate and excited and extremely Jupiterian and optimistic way of looking at things. And when it does that, when it brings that, this can actually be enjoyable. The Ten of Wands, the hard work. It's like if you were, I don't know, let's say you were studying, let's say you're like a law student at school, right? You're trying to go to law school. So you're trying to be the absolute best that you can be. And you know, and you've always had this vision in your mind that you were going to be this incredible lawyer. So when you're studying, can it be really hard work, and can it be frustrating, and can there be ups and downs? Yes. But if you have that dream and that vision and that passion, it doesn't feel so heavy on your shoulders. You still can bring in a lot of energy to that hard work because it's not pulling you down. So whatever it is, it's coming to a close. And I think that's what these eclipses have really been about. And I think that's one of the reasons why we can be so excited about next year, specifically March, when Pluto and Saturn switch signs. Okay, so let's go ahead here and pull out the clarifiers. Now, for those of you who are new here, I'm going to pull out some cards that we'll talk about in the comprehensive reading, where we talk for about 25 to 30 minutes extra. So it's kind of like a whole second reading to build upon this one. Now, there are a whole bunch of different ways to access that, so I'm going to put all the information in the description box and the comment thread down below. I don't want to go through all the things here, but please make sure to select the right option that works best for you. Okay, so to clarify the lovers, what else does Taurus need to know for the lovers for November 2022? Excellent, 10 of coins. High Priestess, and the Page of Wands. I'm liking the fire here because I feel like that's may have been something that has been difficult to access internally, was that internal fire, that internal creativity and passion. Two of Coins, Chariot. Last but not least, for Taurus, Queen of Cups, all reversed. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up. Oh, just kidding. But I don't know. I'm getting way ahead of myself here. Let me finish pulling out the clarifiers. So let's clarify the Seven of Swords, Ace of Swords reversed, Temperance, and Death reversed. Five of Wands. For that Page of Swords, Five of Wands, Eight of Swords reversed. King of Swords reversed. Oh, beautiful. Love the kings, the upright kings there. We have the Three of Swords and the Sun. Ace of Coins, I like the Ace of Coins with the Page of Coins. The World reversed. King of Wands. I feel like the universe owes you. You're owed. Beautiful. The Star. Another Knight of Wands, excellent, and a Page of Cups. Beautiful. For this 10 of Wands. 6 of Wands. 2 of Cups reversed. Another 7 of Swords, which matches up there. Hierophant reversed. Okay, I feel like that one really is wanting to come out, but 5 of Cups, now 10 of Coins reversed. And for the Death card, we have the Tower. Some of you are going to be making clean breaks. Chariot reversed. And 4 of Swords. Okay. All right, this is where I'm going to pick up for the comprehensive. So again, all the information on all the options on how to access this reading will be available in the description box in the comment thread down below. Thank you so much, Taurus. I wish you an amazing November, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your November 2022 astrological horoscope portion of this reading. So I'm so excited for this month for Taurus because we've got an eclipse in your sign, a big full moon total eclipse. Which is conjunct Uranus. So there is some heightened energy as we make our way into November. But before we officially hit this chart, I want to just talk about a couple of things that are happening right before the beginning of November. So on October 25th, we have the first new moon eclipse in Scorpio. Okay, that's at 2 degrees of Scorpio. So if you have any placements at the beginning degrees of Taurus, this will absolutely impact you. And then we have Jupiter moving back into Pisces, which is right here. And then we had Mars begin its retrograde, which we've been building up to for a couple of months now. And this is starting to feel very, well, I mean, it is real, like it's really happening now. So let's talk a little bit more about this eclipse in Scorpio, okay, on October 25th. Now, I know this is the November reading, but we have to talk about these eclipses together. So this particular eclipse in your 7th house, now there's a lot of activity in your 7th house, okay, we've got, well, at the time of the eclipse, we have Venus and the Sun, which are all, Venus is also included in this eclipse energy. So when we're talking about 7th house, there's a lot to do with partnerships. So marriages, if you're married, or any kind of established connections that you have, and any other kind of legal agreements that you're in. That could be you with a client, you with an employer, or you with a fellow investor if you're going in on something like a real estate investment or something like that, and really dealing with that particular situation or that person. Now, with a new moon, we understand that that's the beginning of a creative cycle. But yes, this is an eclipse, so it's a little bit different. And it's in Scorpio, right, which is a highly destructive sign. And so I feel that the creation at this point, it's like creating by deconstructing something, all right? So you get to begin something wonderful, but you need to allow for the things that are obstructing you to be torn apart. So if there are agreements and relationships and contracts and any other kind of obligation, because yes, Scorpio is deeply rooted in like kind of bonds or obligations that are very difficult to get out from under. Like for example, just as another example, if you are not married but you share a child with somebody, Obviously, there is a legal tie, but it can be a lot more complicated because there isn't a marriage. And so when it comes to like visitation rights or any kind of, legal holidays, that kind of thing, this could be a point of focus for you. So it's like getting out from under, finding a way to get out from under something. And I think Taurus is going to have to make some choices here, right? It's like, I either choose to withstand the consequences of my previous actions by continuing forward with my obligation, or I have to deal with the complications of trying to get out, right? It's like if someone were to haphazardly get married and then 6 months later realize that it was like the biggest mistake of their life, but oh goodness, the complications of getting a divorce, like it's going to be a whole big thing. It's going to cost me a lot of money. But it's like, that's the choice. Which type of destruction are you willing to bear? Now, we're all going through this. Okay, you just have a little bit of a heightened experience because you've got the full moon eclipse conjunct Uranus in your sign on November 8th, right? So as we enter into November, we already have the moon sitting up there in Aquarius, and it's already waxing and it's getting ready to come into that full moon position. Now, again, it is almost like exactly conjunct here. Oh, whoops. Oh, I don't have the clock set properly. It's fine. But as the moon comes forward 16 degrees, Uranus will be right at 16 degrees. The eclipse is happening right at 16 degrees. So this is like an exact conjunction. And we know Uranus is highly unstable and volatile and revolutionary in a lot of ways. And because this is happening in your sign, it does have a lot to do with the self. It has to do with you and your identity and your ability to be self-reliant. Taurus and Scorpio, there's that big contrast between doing it yourself in Taurus and relying solely on yourself and being able to truly survive. And then there's relying and working with and integrating with someone else. So it seems like there is I'm not going to say a full-on separation because that may not be the case for everybody, but it seems like there is a point of focus on that kind of aspect of your life. Doing it by yourself, doing it on your own, having the independence, having the autonomy versus how you are tied in with someone or something else, and trying to figure out either how to balance these two. Although I do think that some of you are going to have to cave and give into another person, and others of you are going to have to fight to maintain your sense of autonomy, right? So it could go either way for you because that's how Uranus works. He's just kind of, it's all going to be highly specialized to you, your life, and your circumstances, and ultimately whatever your destiny really is. But I do think with the North Node, there is probably going to be a greater tendency to have to bring it in toward yourself, all right? And to have to kind of go into that mode of what is best for me. And even if that means you have to kind of sacrifice, if you will, someone else's needs, even if you care, like if it's an employer or a client or a partner, whatever it is, that may not be the best situation, but it is the best situation for you. And from a survivalist standpoint, that may need to be what it is, okay? So it's not a time to feel guilty for choosing yourself. It's not a time to feel like you're doing anything wrong, because when the South Node is in the 7th house, it usually means that the other person has to kind of lose out, right? Because there is a lot of loss with that South Node. There's a lot of decrease that happens. So it's like a depression of that other person of that 7th house and an increase for that 1st house. See what I'm saying? Okay, so now we also have this Mars in the 2nd house, which is also a highly self-reliant house. This is deeply rooted in our financial situation, in our sense of self-worth, and in our possessions, and in general, our work, what we do, our skills and the talents and the skills that we have developed in order to earn a living. So there may be some kind of rethinking, because it's Gemini, right? Rethinking some things. But of course, Mars is a little bit more tactile. He likes to actually do things. He likes to carry out ideas. And so while he is in retrograde, you may be going through a process of experimentation, and you may try over the next couple of months multiple new things. So you may learn a new skill in order to add value to your current customers, clientele, or employer, or whatever it is. You may try to find new ways of income, right? New ways of earning money, maybe in a more passive way, because it's a retrograde, so it may not be as active, or it may not be, as a result of action so much as it is a result of strategy. And it may also have a lot to do with going inward and really working on any discrepancies that you hold internally that are preventing you from attaining great wealth or attaining a great lifestyle that really matters to you. If you have a difficult relationship with possessions, like allowing yourself to have things, or if you feel like you must work very hard in order to earn something, this is also probably a time when you're going to have to go inside and work on rewriting that story for yourself and revisiting any kind of trauma that's associated with that. Mars can be, a very clumsy energy, and he can also be very precise. I think right now he's holding a good balance of both for you, specifically Taurus, for you, because being in this second house, it's like a solid house. And so there is this like stability, and so it's not so volatile. He's not all over the place, and he's not clumsy. He's just sort of cautiously moving forward in a way that is useful and productive, and ultimately will end up in everybody's best interest, okay? Now, we also have, as of October, now I know this is old news, but Saturn and Pluto are now officially going direct. And I'm going to start bringing this up month after month after month to keep reiterating, right? We are making our way toward a whole new era. Now, Pluto, as we know, will dip into Aquarius in 23, come back into Capricorn, and then come back into Aquarius in 2024. So there's going to be like a year and a half or so where there's some transition going on, but he is going to touch ground in Aquarius for the first time in a little less than 250 years. All right, so this is a big deal, and that's happening in March. That's also happening, same time, March, when Saturn comes into Pisces. So there is no question that we are going to feel this transition. All right, Aquarius and Pisces being the last two zodiac signs, they are like, I don't know, they are really going to pull us away in a really substantial way of a lot of the things that have been known to us for a very long time. The things that we have become accustomed to, the things that have been normalized. Now, the word of the month, the way that every month there's like some theme that emerges, this theme is about reform. And I mean, full moon eclipse conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Now, of course, we've seen throughout history, when Uranus is in Taurus, there is a lot of destabilization that goes on. When Uranus hits Gemini, which it will in 2025, which is the same time when Saturn and Neptune together, they're going to be moving into Aries and then retrograding back into Pisces and then coming back into Aries in 2026. All right, so 2025, we're going to have this new activation with Aries, with Saturn and Neptune, and Uranus coming into Gemini. This is going to be the time, all right, when the big stuff really starts to happen on a global political economic scale. And for us as individuals as well, because this is when a lot of the things that we're working on changing now, the seeds that we're planting now, that is when they are going to really start coming alive. All right. But there's going to be a lot of growth that's going to happen between 2022, right? Late 2022 and 2025. That's a few years away still. So we have time, but we need to understand that all of these big transitions are building up to something really profound and could mean incredible levels of growth for us. I often think that Uranus in Gemini, when I really look back at the history of it, can be, it is associated with things like World War II. And when the United States was born, technically 1776, we did have Uranus in Gemini as well. So, there is that time of like busting out, being open, being free, and really overcoming a lot of the stuff that has kept us back. Right, or a lot of the stuff that is oppressing us. So as an individual case, that's often, the things that are going up here. So there's a revolution going on in our own minds. All right. And I want to keep this on a more individual scale. I don't want to talk so much about all the global events, but on an individual scale, there is a massive revolution going on in our minds, and there is no doubt about it. Okay. So this is worth paying attention to, this eclipse, and worth paying attention to all of the ways that your life is being destabilized. I wouldn't look at destabilization as being a bad thing, but rather preparation for the big things that you've had planned all along. The reason that this is happening is because you have properly manifested something, and all this other stuff has to get out of the way. All right, so it's just something to worth thinking about and meditating on and contemplating in the months to come as we prepare for the Saturn-Pluto transit. All right, so there are a lot of things to talk about here, and I'm probably going to be making a video on this throughout October, probably around the time when Pluto goes direct, which is going to be October 23rd. But I am going to be making a video on this, so keep your eyes open for that. Okay? All right. That's going to be it for Taurus. Thank you so much. You guys know I love and adore you. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.